Okay, sir. In our last, I think, introduction session of the data science, we discussed about different wings under data science. That means subdisciplines. May I know from your side what are those subdisciplines of your data science? Machine learning, deep learning, artificial intelligence, NLP. Can you tell me some of the applications like machine learning based applications daily what we see in our regular day applications? Pardon? Washing machine? No. Sai, ప్లీజ్ బ్రింగ్ అనదర్ 10 చైర్స్ రెడీలీ. నువ్వు నన్ను క్లాస్లో బాగా డిస్టర్బ్ చేస్తున్నావు చెప్తున్నా. ఒక చైర్స్ 10 చైర్స్ రెడీగా పెట్టేసి. యా, థ్యాంక్ యూ. Gmail is one of the regular examples, sir. For the years we have been seeing that. When our mail sent to you, automatically mail is being classified as inbox. Inbox means your personal message. Somewhere, somehow, and sometime, you marked one email as spam. Next onwards, if any mail comes to you, if the new mail matches with the pattern of the spam, automatically your Gmail application is recognizing that as a spam. And something it is keeping into social media, something into promotions, like that. Who is doing that activity? A human is doing, or automatical application is doing that activity? Application itself is doing that activity. Okay, just a minute. Okay, keep it here and yeah, if anybody comes, they will take. No problem. Thank you. And smartphone applications, they are recognizing your face. By seeing your face, they are recognizing your gender. That too not entire body, just by seeing face only. And they are predicting your age also. That application is predicting your age. Latest applications are predicting your mood also. Happy, sad mode, angry mode, dull mode. Automatical application is predicting that one. Okay, still. Tomorrow, if I implement this for the traffic board, sir, what kind of benefit I can get? Especially for Hyderabad traffic board. Suppose you violate rules, sir. What COB is doing? You violated one rule. What COB is doing? Immediately he takes a snap. Whenever he took some snap, where that picture will be stored, sir? In the server or in the cam? Cam only. Okay. After that, manually, they will plug into the system. Some team will load all the pictures into the server. At the time of loading, they will be labeling. Labeling for what? Labeling for compliant title. Whether it is helmet problem or triple riding or wrong route or wrong parking, such kind of things. Okay. After that, after 3 or 4 days, you will get a penalty bill. It's all the work manually happening, not yet automated. Suppose by embedding these machine learning models, if you try to automate this, what kind of functionality we are going to expect? First of all, functionality expectation is what from this? Later, the code technical part of this one later we will discuss. Okay. Whenever he took a snap, the first expected functionality is the picture has to be stored into the server. For this, one small change in the cams that should be done is the cam should be enabled with Bluetooth. By using IoT, Internet of Things, which can connect with the Bluetooth resources, the IoT has to collect the pic and it has to dump into the server. So that means here, what kind of people are involving? Indirectly, IoT people is there. Everything the data scientist will not do, sir. Everything the machine learning engineer will not do that one. IoT team will take care of it. That too, per minute one pic, okay. Suppose per minute lakhs of pictures are coming, such kind of things. In that moment, normal servers cannot afford it. Their capacity is not enough. That means the traditional databases like RDBMS databases will not support such kind of functionality. Suppose per minute lakhs of pictures. At that moment, they might be using for their OLTP, for their transactional support to dump the pictures. They might be using NoSQL databases, no SQL, not only SQL, which is a part of online big data. Now everybody are attending this word, big data, big data, big data. Big data is in batch side, big data is in online side. When time comes to the online, NoSQL databases. When time comes to batch process of the big data, Hadoop, Spark, such kind of systems. Okay. Okay. Still here, scientist is not there. But in the server, there should be some application. Within that application, there should be some trained models. So as being scientist or as being machine learning engineer, we are trainer, our student is a model. We train our models. For what purpose here we train model is, just by seeing the snap, the model has to classify the label of the complaint. The model has to classify the label of the complaint, whether it is a helmet or wrong signal or triple riding. So what are the mistake you did? The model has to classify it. For that purpose, you trained one model. The trained knowledge of the model has to be deployed into the application. General term is deploying model. We don't deploy the model, remember. Knowledge acquired by the model, we will deploy into application. Before deploying, we have to test that accuracy. Whether your model has learned perfectly or not, you have to test it. Suppose you are a male, sir, but my model prediction says that you are a female. My prediction is good or bad? My model prediction is good or bad? Utter fluff, bad. In this way, here 100 people are there into the classroom. Out of 100 people, 98 people predictions are good, 2 people predictions got failed. Because that face might have some different pattern. That is the reason my model prediction got failed. But out of 198 predictions, successful means, what is the accuracy percentage? 98 divided by 100 into 100, right? My model accuracy is 98%. If I say some statement model accuracy is 98% or 90% means, out of 10, 9 predictions are successful. But I am expecting 90% accuracy. My model has given 98% accuracy. I am very much satisfied about my model behavior. Then I will have to deploy that model into application. Think that in server there is an application. The application got deployed with this trained model to recognize, to classify complaint label. Understanding the point, sir? So next, whenever one snap reached that model, immediately model will say, is a helmet problem or not? Understand? Okay, here some kind of team is there. After that, once the label is classified, the label will be passed to the billing application. The billing application might be ERP application like SAP, or it can be cloud application, or it can be even your Java application or .NET application. It can be anything. The billing application will apply the bill. Then it will send SMS to you. Think that this entire cycle is automated. Now after completion of this class, you did a mistake by violating your traffic rule. Cobb has taken a pic. Immediately what will happen? If he has taken a pic, immediately you will get SMS. Understand the point, sir? In this entire workflow, different technologies are involved. But this entire workflow is not handled by your scientist or machine learning engineer. Of course, sir, there is slowly the word scientist, the data scientist is going to drop down. Next onwards, industry will call you as a machine learning engineer, a deep learning engineer, NLP expert, artificial intelligence engineer, like this. In the beginning days, because of the innocence, because of the more hype, the word data science is being highlighted. Now, industry entered into the specializations. Understand the point? So here, IoT team is there. Big data team is there. Then where is scientist? Within that server, some application is there. That application got deployed with. Even in development of that application is also the machine learning engineer is not there. But within that application, one model got deployed. That means a trained model got deployed. Trained model means knowledge acquired by the model. How to inject the knowledge into the model? Their scientist, their machine learning engineer. Understand the point, sir? Billing application that is done by your Java people or ER people something. So how many people are there? Lot teams are there. But your role is that area only. What is your role? To train your models. Understand the point, sir? So here, previously human to human training. Now, same, your trainer, your student is not a human. Your student is a model. Same thing in artificial intelligence. Your student is a agent. Understanding the point, sir? In this way. So finally here, machine learning purpose is this one. To train mathematical models. But these are mathematical models. Okay, sir, for today, take light of the notes and everything. Machine learning is a approach to train our mathematical models. So different mathematical models. As you go journey with the different models, you will get clarity in future days. When to use what kind of model. Understand? There are regression models, there are classification models, there are recommendation models, there are unsupervised models. That means the data clustering models. In this way, different models are there. So as you go journey with all these models, after certain time, you will get a clarity when to use what kind of model. Because every model is best in particular situation only. Suppose situation 1, model number 1 is good. Situation number 7, model 7 is good. Now your data has a situation number 1. If you apply the model number 7, definitely your prediction will be wrong. So this is like exactly like how a doctor selects treatment type based on the patient condition. Understand the point, sir? But which treatment type is good means every treatment type is good for that particular condition. Understand? So you have fever, I have fever, but we went to same doctor, but doctor will not give you same treatment type for both of us. According to my pattern, my treatment is different. According to your pattern, your treatment is different. On such a way, the model selection is very crucial role here. But all these machine learning models are mathematical models, conceptual models. We cannot write by taking pen and paper to perform these calculations. Understand the point, sir? We need some language support. By which language you can do this? Any language you can do this. But why Python is popular for this? You can use R language, you can use Java, you can use .NET related C#, such kind of things. Even JavaScript you can use. Anything you can use. Language can do anything. Language is just a weapon. Don't treat that Python as a data science weapon. Not only Python, anything you can use. But why most of data science applications or machine learning applications are into Python is Python, because of two reasons it is very popular. Because of two reasons it is very powerful. One thing, this is very simplified. Very simplified model. The programming of Python is very simplified. What are the thing you will achieve by writing 100 lines of code in Java? Same thing you can achieve in 4 to 5 lines of Python. Okay. Even though you are a first time to the programming, you can easily learn, you can easily develop the applications. That is what Python simplicity. That is reason number 1. And reason number 2 for Python greatness is rich in library. Rich in library. Only you should know when to use decision tree algorithm. If you decided in this moment I should use decision tree library is available. Understand? In another situation, okay, random forest I want to use. Random forest is one of the mathematical model. If you know, okay, in this moment I should use random forest library is available. Just within 3 lines you can implement that random forest. If there is no library to write code of that random forest, it may take 6 months time for. Understand the point, sir? Before library, that was like a project. After library, that is just a task. As being part of the machine learning life cycle, the regular activities of you is extracting data, data cleansing and data preparations. And after that, a train model. After training the model, whether your model has learned perfectly or not, for that, accuracy testing. If you satisfy with accuracy, you have to deploy that. Deploy the knowledge of the model into the application. In this basic life cycle, for life cycle related, every library is available. If there is no library, one model building is one project. It may take months of time. Because of this library, in 1 hour, you can implement all these things. Understand the point, sir? Suppose, for example sake, in machine learning, there are 100 models. For all the 100 models, library is ready. Doctor need not to manufacture a medicine. Do you agree? Even doctor don't know how to manufacture a medicine. But where he is expert? When to use what type of medicine based on the patient condition. He is expert into that area. The machine learning engineer should be like that. You need not to create the gun, sir. Just learn how to use the gun. That's it. Gun is already there. Sophisticated guns are there. Become expert in how to use the gun. You need not to develop a model, sir. Already models are there. Model algorithms are there. Have a grip when to use what algorithm, how to use that algorithm. That's it. Unnecessarily, if you fall down into that area, again, that will be problematic. Already in machine learning, all related, deep learning, all related, all models are readily available. So Python is great because of that one. Of course, we are data scientists or machine learning engineers or NLP engineers. We are using Python for this purpose only. Suppose you are a web developer. For web developer also, for web related frameworks are available. Django, actually Django is the spelling. D is silent. Django is one of the popular framework for web application development. And also Flask, which is simplified than Django with REST API enabled features, and all these things are available with Python. Not only Python, Python is the open source, sir. Not only Python open source, Python libraries, Python frameworks also open source. Understanding the points. Suppose you are a gaming developer, Python gaming library is there. Okay, Python use cases so many, including system programming, including networking programming. That means socket programming. Okay, and Python is vastly being used in the production automated scripts. Previously, in the production automated scripts, wherever your Linux shell script is being used, now those scripts are replaced with Python. So Python for DevOps. So in DevOps, Python is vastly being used. Even in AWS, Python is vastly being used. So Python use case not only for this statistics, not only for data analytics and data science departments. Wherever Java can be used, Python can do that. Whatever Python can do, Java also can do that. But learning Java is not a 1 month program. Python is 1 month program. That's it. Okay. Why I prefer Python is simplified. The two rich in library. These are the two attractive points which pulls me into this Python. Okay. So next, what is the next department, sir? So machine learning purpose is this one. Deep learning purpose, same, to train. Models. Already in the beginning introduction, I explained the difference between these two. Again, today I see the new guys. That's why I will recall it. Machine learning approach to train the models. Deep learning purpose to train models. But why two departments? Why two departments here? Already who attended this session, can please explain the reason. In our last initial demonstration session, I explained this. Come on, sir. Machine learning purpose same, deep learning purpose same. Then why 2? Not complex models, complex predictions. Yes. What do you mean by yes? Answer is correct. For simple predictions, you can use machine learning. For complex predictions, you can use deep learning. What do you mean by simple and what do you mean by complex? What do you mean by simple and what do you mean by complex? I told you human photo identification. If I give you some human picture, just by seeing the picture, you are saying male or female. Your brain is not struggling here. The reason between the classifiers, less common features, more distinction features. But if I give you a rabbit photo, a rabbit pic, can you say? If I give you a rabbit photo, by seeing the rabbit, can you say which is male, which is female? Even live rabbit we see, we cannot see. We cannot say directly. After doing a lot of other kind of appearance testing, we can say that statement. So by in appearance terms, between a male rabbit and female rabbit, 99% commonality. Only 1 or 0.5% is the distinction. Our human brain cannot recognize it. A lot things the human brain, basic brain cannot recognize, sir. A simple example, a small game for you. Just close eyes. In left hand, I am putting 2 kg weight. In right hand, I am putting 100 grams weight. Without opening your eyes, can you say which is high weight, which is less weight? By feeling that experience, weight experience, you can. Okay? Because there is a great distinction between 2 kg weight and 100 grams weight. Okay. I'm bringing you into another example where you will fail. Same, close your eyes. In left hand, mosquito number 1. In right hand, mosquito number 2. Can you say which is high weight, which is less weight mosquito? But there can be 100 times of difference between mosquito 1 and mosquito 2. But still, your brain could not able to recognize because our brain has a bad habit rounding the figures, rounding the values. 0.92. 0.92, sir. Round it to one digit after decimal. 0.92, round it to one decimal. 0.9, right? 0.89, round it to one decimal. Our brain says what? Both are same weight. Understand the point, sir? But there can be huge difference between these two, especially chemical compound weights or minute gram weights. Okay. So in all these cases, all these things are called as the complex predictions, the complex identifications. Such kind of things machine learning models cannot fit. At that time, in 1970s only, there was a discipline, neural networks. Okay. Neural network was a concept which was inspired from human brain learning systems. For that neural networks, the advancement is deep learning. Of course, nowadays, this deep learning is also part of machine learning. It's a sub-discipline of machine learning. Now it is elaborated as a special discipline. See, what are the powers I'm talking? So deep learning is an approach how your models will learn. That is got inspired from human learning system, human brain learning system. A small example. Later you can write, please. Please concentrate over here. Later. Learning point of view, sir. Okay, brain capacity point of view. Your system is also having a processor. Your brain is also a processor. Okay. Which is more capacity? Which is high capacity? My laptop processor is high capacity or my brain is high capacity or your brain is high capacity? No, sir. If okay. So for your question, a small reverse question. 2 into 6, how much, sir? 2 into 6, 12. Super answer, sir. Come on, 223 into 499. Come on. 2 into 6, 12, okay. 12 into 6, 72, okay. 223 into 499, tell me. Tak tak boliye. You cannot. That means brain has less capacity. Your system processor has capacity. Same question ask the system. Same question ask the system, sir. Who will give faster? You will give faster or system will give faster? Don't say theoretical cinema dialogue, sir. Human brain is hundreds of supercomputers. That is true in only in movies, not in reality. Understand the point? But human brain is great because of its smartness. System is not having that smartness. I tell you one example about system smartness. Suppose today you are spending time some half an hour to 1 hour time with me. Okay, meeting disconnected, meeting closed, and again after 10 days or 20 days, you met me at High Tech City at some tea shop. Okay, you say hi, I say hi. Understand the point, sir? But here don't treat it as a simple thing. System point of view, there is a lot of complex thing. The same complex for the human brain, that is very simple. But even though less capacity, even though your human brain is having less capacity, crores of pictures, images are already there into your brain. Okay, even though after 20 days, if you see me, you say hi, I say hi. Understanding the point, sir? Okay, think that in our system database, I kept 1 lakh pictures. That means I kept 1 lakh your human face, your identity pictures. After that, I'm giving a new picture and I am asking my system, do you know this person? What my system has to do, sir? Take picture number 1 from the database. Compare the features. Not matched, leave it. Second picture, take it, compare with new picture. Not matched, leave it. In this way, what it has to do, sir? It has to keep scanning each and every image. It has to scan each and every image and compare the features with given new image. In this way, suppose unfortunately you are not available in 1 lakh existed pictures. It has to scan from beginning to all 1 lakh pictures or not. What is the time taken for that? Maybe 2 hours, maybe 3 hours. After 3 hours, it will say one beautiful statement. I don't know him. Understand the point, sir? But you are already 1 lakh pictures at a system for 1 lakh pictures, this much of struggle. But start journey from your birth onwards. Start journey from your birth onwards. If you see something means you spend some half an hour, within half an hour you are watching me means maybe thousands of my images will be kept into your brain. Like this from your birth onwards, how many pictures are there into your brain? Are you understanding my question? Okay, maybe trillions of pictures, trillions of images are there into your brain. Even though that much database there into your brain, after 20 days, just by seeing one shot, you are recognizing me. I am recognizing you. Even it's not like after 20 days. After 1 year, this has happened, sir. Today is the first meet. Again, our second meet is at after 1 year. After 1 year, after we discussed for some 5 times, your mind is itching you. Hey, somewhere I have seen him, somewhere I have seen him, somewhere I have seen. Before completion of the discussion, you will get actual reality. Okay, at that moment, at that situation, I have seen him. How quickly your brain is recalling the memory. Understand the point, sir? All these are the brain powers. Okay, this is what what exactly the smartness. The human brain is great not because of the capacity. The human brain is great because of the smartness. But who taught this smartness to you? Who taught this smartness to you? You only learned. Not in our 10th class school, not in our engineering, not in our MTech. Okay. By your experiences, by facing environments, by facing experiences, you started learning all these things. So learning point of view, especially, sir. Okay, human brain smartness is in lot dimensions. But today we are here to train a model. That to human learning learning model approach I want to inject into my models. Learning point of view, human brain is very, very efficient. The basic power of human learning is learn from a teacher, sir. First of all, the human brain accepts to learn from a teacher. Our model is also doing that one or not. Okay. So what is the benefit if you learn from a teacher? Suppose today I am giving you some introduction to machine learning and deep learning. Without teacher, you can learn it. Without teacher, you can learn it. It will take maybe 10 days time for you. By going through Google, by going through different documents, but you can learn it. But time taken will be 10 days. After this session, within half an hour, you will get that clarity. What is the purpose of machine learning and deep learning? Okay. So here somebody injected that knowledge, but your brain is always open to learn from teacher. Understand? This is one beauty in the human learning system. First benefit. Second benefit of the human learning system, sir. Learning from self-experience. Learning from self-experience. Example for this learning from self-experience is, I am asking you a small task for you. There is a power plug box is there. Put your finger into that plug, sir. I will switch on. Can you do that activity? The task for you is put your finger into that plug. I will switch on. Do you dare to do that activity? No. That means you don't have a question now. If I put my finger into that plug, if switch on, what will happen? You don't have that question. Already you have answer. That's why you are not daring. But who taught this? When you are a kid, at the time of 3 years old or 4 years old, you started playing with switchboards. At the time, that has given some shock. That is what your experience. You learned this knowledge from that experience, not from your academics graduation colleges. Understanding the point, sir? So without teaching somebody, your brain is ready to learn from the experience. This is what a second power of the human brain, human learning system. And third learning system, sir, third learning power is learning from other experience. The previous example, learning from self-experience. Now the third thing, learning from other experience. Learning from other experience means, example, did you ever face what happens if I stand in front of a running train? Did you ever face that experience? But now, do you want to test it? Do you want to test it and record the results? What will happen? You don't dare, because already some others got experienced with that. From other experience, you have learned this. Okay, if I stand in front of running train, I will die. Who has taught this? Nobody. Yourself have learned it. Okay, but from other experience. This is third power of the human learning system. Understand the point, sir? And the very much greatness is always we are trying to rectify the errors. Learning from errors. Learning from errors. In the demonstration I have given you, a kid is trying to hit a fruit on the tree with a stone. What will control, sir, whether the kid will hit that fruit with a stone, whether he will succeed or failure? What will be controlled, sir? The thing is controlled by two things. What is that? The force he releases, the angle he releases. Okay. At the time your age is 3 years, you don't know how much force, how much angle I need to put. But some random force, some random angle you will pick or not. With that, you will throw. That is what your first try. Okay. But definitely you will be failing. The distance, whatever the stone has achieved, the difference between exact fruit location and this achieved location of the stone is called an error. think that if there is some measurement for that error, your error in the beginning is 200. In the beginning trial, your error is 200. This much of biggest error because of what, sir? This much of biggest error is because of what? One wrong force, one wrong angle. These are the two things we'll be controlling. After that, what the kid will be doing? Next time, to reduce the initial error, he will try to modify the coefficients. That means he will be doing some change in the force, doing some change in the angle. Again, he will be doing second trial. Of course, still error will be there, but this time the error will be decreasing when compared with the previous iteration, previous trial. Think that now at the second trial, the error recorded is 180. Previous error 200. Error decreased or not? Understand the point, sir? Third trial again, error 170. So when he is doing the third trial, after modifying his force and angle, in this way, trial 3, trial 4, trial 25, maybe trial 26. At 26 trial, he will hit that fruits. At that time, after 26 trial, what is the error? After he hit that fruit, what is the error? Error 0, right? Okay. How much angle to be used? How much force to be released? Who taught him? Who taught him? Self-learning or somebody taught? Self-learning. Self-learning based on what? Always he targets one thing. My error should be reduced. In my next activity, my error should be reduced. On that way, he will modify his input coefficients. Understanding the points? So this is what learning from error. All these four are the brain, human brain learning systems, which are not available with other animal systems. By inspiring from that concept, neural networks released. By doing some extensions, that means by embedding some new features, new models, deep learning came out in the picture. So deep learning and machine learning, both purpose same. Both purpose same. But the thing, simple learning is for simple predictions. Here, simple predictions means between the classifier, less commonality, more distinctive features. Deep learning means between the classifiers, high commonality, maybe 99 or 98. Not in human picture cases, sir. Let's talk about some security systems. If some, especially Indian hackers are trying to hack, security systems we easily will stop him, because the pattern between a fraud, a genuine transaction, okay, the pattern between a fraud attempt and a genuine attempt, a distinction is high. That's why easily we can recognize, especially in our old movies, sir, 1970 movies. Just by seeing the face of the actor, you can say he is a villain, he is a hero. Correct or not? There is a thief. Thief has a mark here. Did you understand? There is a appearance point of view. There is a great distinction between a heroic appearance and villain appearance. Okay, but nowadays the villains are more smarter and handsome than our regular heroes. Got it? Just by seeing the photo, you cannot say who is villain and who is the hero. That means the commonality between them is very high. Got it? But if some North Korean kind of hacking attack is done, between a fraud attempt and a genuine attempt, 99.99 is the commonality. Understand the points? At the time, your basic machine learning models cannot stop him. So deep learning models have to come into the picture. Still in medical science point of view, suppose, sir, there are some diseases. Between the diseases, the commonality is very high. Suppose 10% commonality, doctor will easily recognize this is not that disease, this is disease number 2. Then he will start the treatment for disease number 2. But there are some diseases, let's say dengue and chikungunya. Just example sake, I am saying. Think that if the commonality is 99% between dengue and chikungunya, only 1% is a distinction. Just assume like this. Whenever you go to the doctor, you have some suspicion, I have chikungunya or dengue, you went to a doctor. First, doctor will force you for lab testing. Okay? Doctor will force you for lab testing. After you submit that report, by seeing that he cannot understand whether it is a dengue or gunya. Understanding this point, sir? I'm sorry. So he cannot understand that one. He cannot understand whether it is a dengue or chikungunya. What is the reason for that? What is the reason for that? 99% commonality. But what is happening? He will start treatment. How he can start the treatment without recognizing whether it is dengue or chikungunya? This is the season for dengue. That's why let's start the treatment for dengue. Understand? It's a season for dengue. That's why start treatment for dengue. Okay, day number 1, day number 2, day number 3, 4, patient not responding to the treatment. Then he will realize, okay, it's not dengue, it might be the second one. Then he will restart the treatment for the second one. Meanwhile, patient is dead. Understand? Why this problem? Even doctor could not able to recognize why this problem. Because of high commonality. Both seems to be same. So in that case, definitely, what is the option for the doctor? Randomly, anyone's treatment he has to start it. Think that such kind of commonality is available with 10 diseases, sir. Not 2 diseases. That kind of commonality is 10 diseases. Actual patient problem is the 10th one. Then what doctor approach? Start the treatment for disease 1, not responding. Treatment 2, not responding. For disease 3, treatment 3, not responding. In this way, after 10 trials, he will achieve it. How much dangerous it is? How much typical situation it is? Understand? Patient should live till the last, right? After facing all these treatment types. And tomorrow expected functionality, same kind of model, same kind of deep learning models have to be fit into your device only. If you send the attributes, the system has to say what exactly it is. That is what exactly the deep learning purpose in healthcare point of view, or in finance sector point of view. Even in security systems also, this deep learning is being used vastly. But to develop that kind of, to programmatically to write that deep learning is very lengthy process. Again, Python is supporting libraries for that. Suppose if it is machine learning, scikit-learn, that is one of the Python library. SciPy, scikit-learn, these things will be used for the machine learning. Of course, nowadays within the same Python, a third-party library came into picture, which is Google's product. Have you heard about Google self-car driving, driverless cars? The driverless cars computational graphs completely implemented by using TensorFlow. Google has a library TensorFlow. So using that TensorFlow, we will implement that machine learning. First scikit and then machine learning. Okay, on such way we have libraries in Python. No need to worry about complex derivative, complex mathematics like that. And same thing for the deep learning, you have libraries. TensorFlow can be used. And on top of TensorFlow Slim came. On top of Slim, Keras came into the picture. Keras, Caffe, such kind of libraries are available. Already, first anything, sir. First, without library, I will show program. After that, by using library, how to do that, we will be learning. Because without library, first I will show. If I show like this, you will understand internally what will happen at each level. After that, we come to libraries. In this way, Python is supporting all varieties of libraries for all the domains, not only for data science and analytics. Even NLP. What is the purpose of NLP, sir? Suppose I am speaking now. Whatever the speech I have, this speech has to convert it into text. Python has voice to text library. Understand? Of course, Python is a third-party library. Google industry is using that one. Google text is there. If I speak something, automatically my speech is converted into text. But once it is converted into text, whether my speech is positive speech or negative speech, what is sentiment of the speaker, you are interested. With an angry mood he is speaking, with a happy mood he is speaking, you want to understand. For that purpose, I need to train my models. But my models are mathematical models. Mathematical models understand only numbers. But my input is a text. It cannot do anything. NLP will help you to extract numerical features from the text. Raw text, NLP will convert that raw text into numerical features. Once numerical features are extracted, you can train your models, whether it is a machine learning model or a deep learning model. Understand? Machine learning and NLP combinations. You can say Google spam engine is one of the example. Customer sentiment analysis is one of the example. Deep learning and NLP combinations are, especially in Google, you will see. In our search box, whenever you type some 3 words, automatically Google is predicting next 2 words or not. For that, in deep learning, recurrent neural networks with LSTM, long-term and short-term techniques, that kind of models will be used in the deep learning. That means predicting future words, predicting future series of the words. Understand? For that, that is example of a deep learning and NLP. And what about artificial intelligence and NLP? Chatbots. Nowadays, if you open any e-commerce site or any other retail site, the popular name for this chatbot is Rita. Rita will pop up. You feel that she is a beautiful female, you started chatting with her. In fact, that is not she, that is artificial intelligence based chatbot. Chatbots basically 2 types, sir. Madam, please hear. Chatbots are basically 2 types. Script based chatbots and artificial intelligence based chatbots. Mr. Khan, please be active. You are in sleepy mode. Come on. What is the difference between script based and artificial intelligence based? Script based means for a fixed question, fixed answer delivery. Suppose what is course name? Machine learning. What is the course duration? 2 months. What is the course fee? Some X. Understand, sir? This is the question, this should be the answer. For this question, this should be the answer. This is what? Script based. But if a student asked the chatbot like this, recently after 2 years back, I completed my graduation. Within these 2 years, I don't have any experience. I am in a dilemma position whether to go for data analytics or data science. If this question is asked to a human, according to the questionnaire, previous background and his mindset, a human consultant is giving idea, right? Then how chatbot can give that consulting to that one? How the chatbot can help him? At the time, script-based chatbots will not work out. You have to use artificial intelligence-based chatbots. That should behave exactly like a human. Even not like human, better than human. Because in lot cases, sir, humans should not do lot of works. Why? Because you are energetic for suppose a long time like 5 hours. Morning 7, your mental ability is different. Evening 6-7 p.m., your mental ability is different. Understand the point, sir? Your brain thinking ability, prediction ability, decision ability is keep decreasing before end of the day. On the end of the day, if you took a decision and if you start investing tomorrow, you are expecting the returns, means there is a high chance that your predictions will be failing. It's a risk activity because there is always human bias is there. But unfortunately, these AI-based systems will not have bias. Time to time, they don't change their bias. How morning they behaved, in the evening also they behaved the same way. By midnight also they behaved same way. That to do nowadays, distributed artificial intelligence based chatbots are there. At a time, your chatbot is able to communicate with hundreds of people. Suppose you are a human, you are giving a counseling to one person. You are a doctor, you are giving a counseling to some patient. At a time, how many? You cannot deal mob, right? But the artificial intelligence chatbot Rita, at a time, 1,000 people can speak. Understand the point, sir? Distributed chatbots. Because one single chatbot can support up to 1,000. If 1 lakh people attacked that, at the time, your chatbot has to be distributed. Of course, there is a data engineering department is also involving to make this provision available. Understand the point, sir? So not only these chatbots, artificial intelligence based use cases are so many. Again, I am talking about Python greatness in artificial intelligence based point of view also. In artificial intelligence base, as an AI developer, you need to create environments. Creating that environment is a really a torture. Understand? A simple chess game, such kind of environments easily you can create. But what about the environment of your traffic board? Tomorrow you want to launch one driverless car. How your driverless car will learn it? Understand? First of all, there should be some environment. In that, if you create environment, in that environment, your agent will be start doing actions. Every action will give positive or negative reward. Based on the rewards, automatically your agents will start upgrading its knowledge. But who has to create that environment? You developer guys have to create that environment as AI engineer. Understand the point, sir? Please stop using the word data scientist. In fact, we are engineers. Of course, our weapons might be different. Understand? That creating of that complex environment is very tough. Python has libraries for that. OpenAI Gym with ready-made environments. Take any one of the environment, customize according to your requirement. Understand the point, sir? You want to develop Atari games. Atari games related environments are available with OpenAI Gym library. Just download, install, customize, and train your agents. Deploy that agent knowledge. Remember, you don't deploy model. You don't deploy agent. In case of machine learning, you will deploy knowledge acquired by the model into the applications. In case of artificial intelligence, you will deploy knowledge acquired by the agent. In machine learning, your models are trying to reduce the error. Again, first time my error is 200. In my next iteration, error should be decreased. Next iteration, error to be decreased. On such way, the machine learning models will work. But in the case of artificial intelligence, your agent is trying to increase the rewards. Suppose for 1 minute I am a dog. I am your pet dog. You started giving me training. Whenever I did some action which is positive to you, you give me one biscuit. Whenever I don't do, you will hit me. Think that hitting me is a negative reward. Giving me biscuit is positive reward for me. What is best for me? Biscuit. That means positive reward. Now, how many biscuits you have given me? How many biscuits you have given me? One biscuit. Next onwards, what should be my target? Keep getting biscuits from you only. After 3 hits received by you, after 4 biscuits received by you, I got mature knowledge or not? For what kind of situations he will hit me, or for what kind of situations he will give me biscuit? The dog has intelligence. The next onwards, my attempt will be always I should take biscuits from my boss. Understand? That means I am trying to increase what? I am trying to increase what? In the machine learning, I am trying to decrease. I am trying to decrease what in machine learning? Error. In artificial intelligence, I am trying to increase what? Rewards. Understand? That means I am trying to increase positive feedbacks. Got it? In this way, different things. Again, artificial intelligence based libraries we have in Python. Okay. Today, what are the things we have taken? The introduction. Why Python is great for this machine learning, deep learning, and artificial intelligence? According to your idea, what is that? Simplified code, sir. Even though you are a first time to the programming, you can learn easily. Understand? And second thing is very rich in libraries, not only for data science and analytics, for remaining purpose also. Gaming development, gaming libraries. Automation scripts, that library. System programming related library. Even IoT library. Take any discipline, the related library is available with Python. Nowadays, according to recently I read one document, nowadays more than 9,000 libraries are available for different purposes. Got the point, sir? Okay. So tomorrow onwards, actual Python programming, we will start from ABCD onwards. Okay. Right. In next meet, we will see. Okay, sir. Online team. Let's meet tomorrow.